Hey guys, I want to welcome you back to the Sensu Pop channel for a deck profile video. I know this channel has not been doing a deck profile for quite some time now. I miss doing deck profile because no matter what you do, which is you could do mechanics explain, you could do like mechanics breakdown, however it is the deck profile that really gets you started playing the game, which is all what we want to do eventually. And if you have taken a look at the videos that we make for Series 12 and how many of them are dedicated to the Ultimate Towa deck, it is definitely not an understatement to say that the Ultimate Towa deck is the most excited thing that I'm looking forward to with the new products. And one of the things I started doing when the Ultimate Towa deck was being reviewed, the deck list was being reviewed, is to take that deck list, play around with it, have a feel, and then I took some cards out, put some cards in, tinker with it to come up with a build that I am satisfied with. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am very happy to show you what I have for all of you. So see you guys after the short intro, alright? I'm gonna pretend that I'm not wearing something weird today. Hey guys, I want to welcome you back from the intro. We will go straight to talk about the leader. The leader is going to be Towa, more than just having very beautiful and crazily insane artwork. Big props to the art direction, big props to the artist who gave us this card. The leader itself, it's also a really good leader because she is more of the enabler archetype. So what does she do? If you're playing with the Xeno cards, she enables all these cards so that you can play it more effectively. You remember the Majin Buu, the Bibbidi Bobbidi Wizard thing that we have in the anniversary box? She is exactly the same, but instead for the Majin Buu, the Majin archetype, you are getting the, instead of the Agent of Destruction archetype, you are doing it with the Xeno ones. And if you have not checked out the Dragon Ball Heroes, I really recommend you to go and read it. It is really good. And you could maybe understand, if you're playing the card game, you could understand which direction the black arc is going, right? So I would recommend you to do that. So let's take a look at the leader. The leader is pretty straightforward. It has a permanent that says Dark Rollies, any character with the Xeno names in it, they don't have specified cost and you reduce by their energy by 1. So what does that mean? That means that if you have a Xeno Cell, Xeno Frieza, Xeno Slug, Xeno Janimba, and if you have those 3 cards in your hands, and if they are 2 costs each, like 2 blue, 2 yellow, 2 green, they don't have any cost in your hands and they are actually 1 cost. They don't have specified cost in your hands and they become 1 cost. She has the ability to self-awaken. When she swings, she draws a card and add a card into your life. So every time she swings, you get a draw 2, that you get a blast 2, and then 4 or less traditional, untap 1, draw 1, no drawbacks over there. And when she awakens, she is pretty much the same. I'm just gonna wait for the animation here. And then the difference is when she attacks, you don't get to take a life anymore, but you get the extra 5k. So this lady swings like a truck because she swings at 20k and you get to draw a card. And once per turn, if anything on the board that is Dark Broly or a Xeno card, non-black, so you cannot play those Xeno Saiyans, and if they got removed once per turn, you get to draw a card. Removed by a skill, not KO, removed by a skill. So pretty much straight out of the box, enabler for all your Xeno types, makes it cheaper to play, and also if they are taken care of by your opponent's skill, you get the advantage of drawing a card. So this is basically the leader. So now we are going to be talking about the main mechanics of the deck. So straight right up, I am going to talk about one of the main mechanism of the deck, one of the main combos in the deck. This card is extremely important in the deck because Towa rewriting history. What does she do is that when you play her, you get to pick 1 Dragon Ball and put it into your hands. Dark Dragon Ball and add it into your hands. You can add the 0 cost, the Searcher, but we are not going to be playing that because the second ability, unfortunately, you cannot use that Dark Dragon Ball, that 0 cost, to do your combo. You kind of need a Dragon Ball that is colored, so it has to be green, yellow, red, it doesn't matter, but it cannot be black, so you cannot do non-black. So but her activate main is very strong. However, you need 3 or more energy, so tap 2. What you do is activate main, tap 2, take one card, one Dark Dragon Ball in your hands that is non-black, put it into your drop area, go to your deck, and then you go find one. Either you play a Dark Broly, or you find a Xeno card 4 or less, and then you play non-black, and then you play it. So this is the main combo of your deck, and I will show you what to do from here on. So these are gonna be your target when you're playing this deck. The first target is gonna be Majin Buu, the Shadow Warrior. Arguably, this is gonna be the best card in your deck, because what it does is this. He has so many multiple layers of advantage. 4 cores, that means you can use it from your Towa's ability, you can fetch him. If not, you can hardcast him for 3 cores from your hands. When you play him, you look at top 7 of your deck, you choose either a Dark Broly or a card with Xeno in his character's name, and then you play it. Literally, it is any card that you see that is either Dark Broly or any battle cards that you see in this deck, you are able to play. And the best part about him, he is not 4 or less or 3 or less with the Xeno name. You just pick any Xeno card and then you just play. It's just really good. He gains so much pressure. He is a 20k by himself with barrier, and also his auto, it's very crazy also, because once per turn, if this card is in rest mode, you will definitely swing with him. If he is in rest mode, if your opponent tries to attack your leader card with any card, with the units card, with your battle cards or any cards, if they try to attack your leader, they need to discard 2 before they do it. So they really have to take care of this Majin Buu before proceeding forward. Alright, and of course, one of the targets that you can get with your Towa also is Lord Slug, Dark Parasite, and this card is your board clear. But however, he is not as effective as a board clear, because you cannot do it with cards that has barrier. However, I want to say something here. He is one of the nastier card in the game, because when your opponent has 3 or more energy, you will definitely hit that, because if you're going to be playing it with Towa, you need 3 or more energy for Towa's ability to work. That means you have already satisfied your energy requirements before you do anything. With Lord Slug itself, he needs, if you're hardcasting him, you need at least 3 energy. So there is no getting around this. You need that 4 energy. And if your opponent has 3 or more energy when this card is played, your opponent chooses. They choose either to take their Unison card regardless of how many markers do they have. They take their Unison card, put it in their drop area. If they don't do it, both you and your opponent gets to draw a card, and your opponent chooses all their battle cards and then discard it. The obvious thing here that we have to mention is, of course, it does not get past barrier, but for a 2 cost, if you're playing it through Towa, it is very cheap, and it's very nasty because your opponent could have a Unison card that has 4 or more markers on it, and all they do is you don't remove 1 marker, you don't remove 2 marker, that Unison card goes to drop. If they don't want to do that, both of you gets to draw a card. Charity, yes, definitely, but your opponent has to kind of board clear. If they don't have anything with barrier, too bad, it's finished. There is also another target, which is gonna be Thala's Dark Parasite. So you can see these are all your 4 cost target. Majin Buu being the best, because Majin Buu brings out another card, but Thala's and also Lord Slug, the Dark Parasite, they are very good for their own what they can do. Thala's, it's a blocker. When this card activates blocker skill or removed by the battle area by your opponent's skill, your opponent may choose 1 card from their hands and discard it. If they don't, you get to draw a card, and then they get to flip 1 card from your opponent's life face up. So you can kind of see and say, okay, that is the card. You know what your opponent is going to take up. This is more for the Thala's deck because that benefits more. However, this as a side effect, if you can get this effect, why not? So either your opponent discard a card or you draw a card and flip 1 of their cards face up. They choose, most probably. The good part is it's a mind game because you kind of apply the pressure to them, so let them make the decision. No matter what, whether your opponent discard 1, your opponent either takes 1 or let you draw 1, you stand to gain. You do not lose and lose out in anything in the end. So we have seen Towa's target, all the 4 cores. Of course, Dark Broly is definitely one of Towa's target. Now let's take a look. If what you want to hit is definitely always Majin Buu, so when Majin Buu is played, like mentioned before, you take a look at top 7 and then you play any Dark Broly card or any cards with Xeno in its character's name. Very, very strong. So these are your target. The first one is Lord Slug, out of control. This is definitely gonna be your best target. He has triple strike, 25k triple strike that comes out for 2 energy, and then you have another Majin Buu in your battle area. That is so good. However, it does have a permanent. When this card is in rest mode, after you swing triple strike 25k onto your opponent cannot attack leader card or unison card, so there's no getting around it. They cannot attack a leader card or unison card. Basically, that is that. And however, he does not have barrier. That means he can be taken out by your opponent's skill. But if he's taken out by your opponent's skill, you get to take 1 Dark Dragon Ball from your drop area and put it back into your hand so that you can feed into Towa once again if that ever happens. If you want to, he is more of the aggressive and defensive because he is like a 25k triple striker. There is nothing defensive about that, but he does have a very powerful permanent which is very, very defensive. So if you cannot finish the game, you can actually keep him in your hands, keep him there, and your opponent has to kind of play around this guy before they do anything. And of course, we do have Turtle's Chaotic Rampage. This is also one of your target. This guy is pure aggression because when he is played, he is a critical double striker 25k. When he swings, you go to your drop area, take a green battle cards, and then negate the skill, and then you combo with it. So minimum you are gonna be hitting your going for 30k. So 30k critical double strike, that comes out for almost free, like 2 energy, and then you have Majin Buu in the back end. It is gonna be really good. Of course, both of them, Lord Slug and Turtles, they do have an evolve, and if you evolve it on top of them, you do have extra effect if you want to do so. So if you're hitting, if you for some reasons have that 4-core Turtles or the 4-core Slug in your battle area, you can use the evolve cores if you have it in your hands, evolve on top of them, and then you also do get the evolve effect. One of the last target that you have for your Majin Buu, it is gonna be Dark Broly. I'm playing 2 because the more I play with this guy, it's not that good in this deck. I think this card is definitely going to be very good in Dark Broly's deck, but not in this deck. So I restricted to 2 so that I can hit the targets better. So because we do not evolve on top of anything, he is basically a vanilla attacker. Your question to me right now would be, hey Sensor Pop, why don't you play the 2-drop? Because that card, it's a little bit too slow in this deck, if you get what I mean. Because that card has a I think something to block it. It says that okay, you kind of need 2 or more energy or 3 or more energy, something like that. So you cannot do like turn 1, turn 2 play. You kind of have to make sure you go like a later stage, then you can do this evolve on top, like you go to the deck find and evolve on top. The problem with that is that when you reach that stage, Towa is a definitely better way to spend your energy at that point of time. More than just that, we are going to be talking about another combo that we have in the deck. This is Lord Slug, the Shadow Warrior. Definitely, I want to say it again, one of the better cards that you have in this deck. He is unique, he is blocker, but there is a very interesting thing about him. If he is taken out of the box, out of your board, either by blocking, either by your opponent's skill, either by your skill, opponent's skill, or KO'd, you get to tap 1, go to your deck, and find this night drop and put it on top of him. And this night drop is a beast. Okay, he is a blocker. And once per turn, when this card KOs an opponent's battle card or activates blocker, you get to switch this card to active mode. So if you think that you can hit your opponent's battle card and KO them, you can actually swing with him, because if he KOs it, he comes out active. But usually I leave him alone or use him when I want to go for the game, because he is a 25k giant blocker. And every single time your opponent swings, you can use this guy to block him twice. Block their leader, block their unison card, because they're 15. In order to take him out, they need to commit a lot of resources. And the worst part is this, that one of the ways that your opponent can take him out very effectively is to use skill. skill, but that is the biggest mistake that will ever happen to them, because if they take him out by skill, you choose up to one of your opponent's hand, choose one of their battle card, and then place them in their owner's drop area. We are not going to stop there. Then choose one of the unison card and remove 2 markers from them. So remove 2 markers, their opponent discard 1, your opponent chooses one of their cards, not KO, not KO. They choose, we choose one of their battle cards, you choose one of your opponent's hands, one of their battle cards, and then you put it into the drop area, just like that. Not KO, not KO'd. So it get past a lot of things like Gogeta, because Gogeta says this card cannot KO, but you are not KOing, you're just taking a card and put it in. If they don't want to do that, then don't remove him by skill. But if they don't remove him by skill, the only way is to out combo this 25k. So if they want to do that, go ahead, I'll let them do that, because I'm not going to block the big blocker. If they're swinging with 15k, I'm using this guy to block it. Now we get to the main part. Now you go, like, SensuPop, you talk so much already. Now it's your main combo. Yes, let me introduce you to the main theme of this deck. It is the Boo Slug Slug defense. Impenetrable Boo Slug Slug defense over here. So the reason is because you have Boo, you have Slug, you have Slug. So this defense is called, I want to say once again, Boo Slug Slug. And if you want to use that, that is the only way that you can address it from now on in the community. Alright, so the reason is this, because with Boo drops 2 when you're, so when this whole thing is being set up, and let me tell you, I play tested this deck a couple of times, and this is not something that you don't see, not even just me. You know, Diego from one of the European champions, I think it was 2 years ago, he play tested the deck and he mentioned the same thing, which is how do we punch through this thing. It's just very, very difficult. There's definitely a way, but it gets very, very difficult, because when these things are on the board, and he did set up on him by himself also, I said it a couple of times, this is just crazy, because this guy can come out in turn 2, this guy can come out in turn 3, and you still have an energy open for your negate if possible. So in turn 3, this is a setup that you can already do. And what does this do? If you want to ask me, Boo says drop 2 when your leader is being attacked if it's in rest mode, right? So, and it has barrier. So your opponent, before they can even punch through to even hit your leader, they need to take care of him. But if they want to take care of him, I'm sorry, it's going to be very difficult. Although, because there is also another layer that says you cannot attack leader or unison card. So your unison card and your leader card is going to be safe. Before they can do anything, they have to take care of Boo, and they have to take care of Lord Slug. And you said, whoa, that's really crazy. So I want to take care of Boo, I want to take care of Lord Slug. But there is another layer of defense over here, which is they have to take care of 2 times giant blocker. So they need to punch through the 2 times giant blocker before they can even get through these 2 things, and before they can even get through these 2 things, they have to get through these 2 things to KO them before they can even reach your leader. This is turn 3, and if they don't do that, you can repeat the process again and again, and every single turn they have to deal with this. But more than just that, you said that okay, there might be a way that they can't use skill to remove them. So what happens when they use a skill to remove them? Admittedly, it is the less painful option, but it is still very painful if that happens. So the first thing that will happen is that, okay, for Lord Slug, you get a +1 Dragon Ball. So this is 1 Dragon Ball into your hands, right? And the second part is if they take care of that Lord Slug, they need to discard 1, they need to KO. Take a look, this is now KO. You take 1 and then you discard it, because it's quite long for me to write it over there. And then they need to remove 2 unison markers from their unison card. And more than just that, with your leader's ability, you get to draw 1 more when this card is removed by skill. So admittedly, but however, Majin Buu has barrier, so he is very not so easy to be taken out by skill. But if your opponent wants to do it by skill, you have a +1 Dragon Ball. Your opponent has to discard 1, choose one of the battle cards, and kind of put it into the drop area. They need to remove 2 unison markers, and then you get to draw 2. So it's basically a +2, and then discard 1, remove by skill once, and then remove 2 unison markers. So this is in essence the Boo Slug Slug defense, BSS. Now let's talk about another win con, because either you can hard cast Boo for 3 energy, or you could play it with Towa. Towa comes out, cheats out all your Boo to the other guys, or if you have the other guys who you place it for again 3 energy, you can evolve the big guys on top of them. So there are many ways that you can get around it, some slower, some faster. Like Towa is definitely the fastest way to do it with the lowest amount of energy, but then kind of to make a deck good, you kind of have you kind of need an additional way to win, right? And one of the things is they have to take care of Dark Shenron Tyrannical Savior. So his +1 is that activate main, you take 1 Dark Broly card or card with Xeno, put it into the bottom of the deck, and then you draw a card. So you want to feed card back inside so that you can use Towa to find it, because okay, for example, you have 4 Majin Buu in your hands. Why do you want that? You want to put one of the cards in, and this is the way that you can do it. Use Dark Shenron, put one of your Majin Buu, draw a card, and then you kind of recycle, make sure you get the correct cards in your hands. Those cards that you don't need, put it back into your deck. He is 16k, so he is very, very difficult to take care of. Really, your opponent leader cannot even hit him. Anything that's 15k, which kind of, it's like the early game, cannot hit him. However, if -3, if you have 4 or more energy, you can do a -3. Take note, this is not activate main, this is not activate battle, this is an auto. So what happens? How do you use this auto? Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section, but what I do is that when I have 4 more energy, and after you charge your energy, now you have 4 energy, immediately, this is at the start of your main phase, this is when you need to activate. So you can -3 from your Dark Shenron, and what you do is you go to your deck or your hands, you find a Dark Broly, and then you play it, or a Xeno card with energy cost 3 or less, and then you play it. So this is when all your 4 drops comes into play, because your 4 drops are in your deck, 4 drops. However, if they are in your hands, your leader's ability comes in, you can play them from your hands. So when you play Lord Slug, your opponent's deck gets destroyed. Your opponent's board or unison gets destroyed. If you play Thurdos, your opponent's hands destroyed, or they allowed you to draw a card. And however, go to a deck and find that 1 Dark Broly, and then you play it. Why not? Just go there, find the Dark Broly, and then play it. So you have a 30k heater on the board, and then 2 lots Turtles, and then a Slug that you play from your hands. Or if you have Majin Buu in your hands, you could also play that Majin Buu. So now your opponent has to divide their attention, right? Which is they either have to take care of Towa, or they have to take care of this Dark Shenron Tyrannical Savior. Take note that, for example, your Lord Slug, the 2 cost to the 9 cost, they are unique. However, the other cards, I don't think that they are unique. The 4 cost and the 6 cost are not unique. So if you manage to already set up your Boo Slug defense, this guy, it's gonna make your board even worse. I do have a game. You can take a look at how the board looks by the time this guy hits the board. It's just crazy. So your opponent has to divide their attention. Should I take care of your Dark Shenron, or should I take care of Towa? Should I take care of Dark Shenron, or do I have to take care of Towa? Not many decks can do both. They can either do one. But that's the thing. Now you set it up on the board and let them see, let them plan. However, one of them is going to go off. Most probably one of them is going to go off. And then you can go on and take the game from there. So now, we do have a final thing that I want to say. A final combo in this deck, which I think for people who really knows this game, or who are very fast to pick up all these things, you would have already seen it by now. It has something to do about numbers. Majin Buu brings out the 6 cost Slug or Thurdos, because those are the things that you want to bring out, right? So either Lord Slug or Thurdos, they will bring it out. And then the thing is, we are also be playing quite I think 3 of these Frieza Shadow Warrior, and then Lord Slug the Shadow Warrior. So what happens here is that with this thing, you can do it in turn 3. I played several games, and there is one game at turn 3 I win the game, because I so happen to have another card in my hands, which is also very, very themed, 4 + 6 + 2, because how do we get this, right? So at 3 energy, I tap 2, use Towa's ability, bring up Majin Buu. Majin Buu so happened hits like I think I hit Turtle Chaotic Rampage, so now I have a 25k double strike crit, and then I have a 20k swing, and then I just tap 1 to play Frieza or Lord Slug, put it into their hands, and then I use all of them and do Successor to bring out Cell Zeno, the ultimate card to end the game. I understand this card is very expensive, so if you don't have it, I can understand. But if you have it, play it in this deck. It is theme, it is extremely powerful, you can hit it in turn 3. Now, after everything, you don't get the 5 or more energy, because at turn 3 when I play it, I don't have that effect, but you still can Successor, you still can Quadruple Strike, so you can swing one more time with this Quadruple Strike just to finish the game right there. And it is just simply crazy. So swing 1, swing 2, like, and then swing for it, and my opponent was just not prepared. He was tapped out at 2 energy, and then I just win the game right there and that. So this is the deck list. I hope you like it, and okay, if should there be any improvement, definitely. There's definitely gonna be quite some improvement that needs to be done, but some of the things I want to point out here is for my first few playthrough, this is a deck list that I am comfortable to be sharing. And you know, something about this channel is that I make sure that I play tested my deck properly. I make sure that I like the deck before I show it to you guys, and this is one of those that I am very happy with it. And definitely when more playtesting comes in, I would really need to make some changes. For example, I believe that this Kamehameha, that black card, is definitely needed in this deck, so maybe I'll switch to Janimba just to play that to Kamehameha, because a blue energy is not exactly required in this deck over here. But other than that, the rest of the ratio should be fine. Play around with the ratio with Turtle and Lord Slug. I kind of find that more of them, it's definitely better, because you can use them to charge anyways, so that you don't miss it with your Majin Buu, because when your Majin Buu plays, you really want to hit either Turtles or Lord Slug, and then just keep some Turtles in your hands and this 4-cost Lord Slug in your hands, so that when you want to do like Dark Shenron, it will just happen right there and then. Okay, so basically this is the deck profile. I hope you like it. This should be the last deck profile before the end of the year. If this is the last video that you are going to be watching in this channel, I wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. If you are watching it before Merry Christmas or Happy New Year though. If not, then maybe I'll see you in the next video. Take care. I hope you like the deck profile. Sorry that I talk so much, but I really need to explain the deck, and I'm someone who talks a lot also. So hey guys, ciao, bye.